The night has always been the perfect stage for stories that make your nerves crawl. It's there, between the shadows and silence, where legends are born, tales capable of spreading across forums, jumping into videos, and becoming symbols of modern fear. And among all the digital creatures that have emerged in recent years, one stands out above the rest. Slender Man, the tall, faceless man with endless arms stretching like shadows. But what exactly is Slender Man? Just a simple internet myth? Or is there something darker fueling his legend, the birth of a digital legend? Slender Man isn't a monster from medieval tales or a spirit from ancient Japanese folklore. His origin is surprisingly recent. He was born in 2009 on a forum called Something Awful. There, in a contest to create fake paranormal images, a user known as Victor Surge edited a couple of black and white photos. In them, children were pictured, but lurking in the background was a disturbing figure. A very tall man, wearing a black suit, with disproportionately long arms and a face with no features. What lit the spark was the text that accompanied the images. Fragments of supposed police reports, witness accounts of disappearances, and local rumors. It didn't take long for the internet to do its thing. Forums began creating stories, creepypastas spread like wildfire, and soon YouTube filled up with homemade short films where Slender Man stalked forests, abandoned buildings, or even people's homes. The characteristics of the faceless man. What makes Slender Man terrifying is his vagueness. Nobody knows for sure what he is or where he comes from. Some stories describe him as an interdimensional being, others as a vengeful spirit. He's credited with supernatural abilities, teleportation, hypnosis, mind manipulation, and most famously, causing mysterious disappearances. His favorite habitat seems to be the forest, the shadows between the trees, the clearings barely touched by moonlight, and the lonely trails are where he's most often seen. The victims in many stories are children and teenagers, which adds a disturbing and symbolic touch. Innocence confronted with the unexplainable. The leap into popular culture. Slender Man quickly outgrew his status as a simple creepypasta. He expanded into indie video games like Slender, the 8 pages which went viral in 2012. The game was simple. Walk through a dark forest collecting notes while Slender Man silently stalked you. The longer you lasted, the harder it became to escape his presence. This success catapulted the character into short films like Marble Hornets, a YouTube series that reached millions of views and became a cornerstone of analog horror. Later, even Hollywood brought him to the big screen, though with mixed reviews. The outcome was clear. Slender Man became an icon of the digital age, comparable to classic monsters like Dracula or Frankenstein, but born in forums and made viral through social media. The dark side of fiction. Not everything stayed in entertainment. In 2014, a real case shocked the world. 2 12-year-old girls in Wisconsin stabbed a classmate, claiming they did it to please Slender Man. The incident sparked a global debate about the power of the internet, the influence of creepypastas on vulnerable minds, and the blurry line between fiction and reality. Although the victim survived, the case cemented Slender Man's image as a dangerous myth, capable of stepping out of the screen and into real life. For many, this was the moment the legend stopped being just an online game and became a symbol of the darker side of digital culture. Myth, reality, or collective reflection. So, does Slender Man exist? The most logical answer is no. He was created on a forum, documented from the very beginning, and fueled by collective creativity. However, the more interesting question is, why does he terrify us so much? Slender Man embodies universal fears, the figure that watches us in silence, the predator that preys on the innocent, the blank face that hides any emotion. His appearance, an elegant man, almost normal, yet with inhuman proportions, plays with our unease toward the almost human, but not quite. This effect, known as the uncanny valley, explains much of his disturbing power. In the end, Slender Man is a collective construction, a mirror of our deepest fears. He doesn't need to exist physically to feel real. His presence lingers in homemade videos, video games, forums, and the stories we keep telling. Like every good myth, he has outgrown his creator. Slender Man is without a doubt one of the most iconic monsters of the digital era. He was born as a joke, grew thanks to the creativity of thousands of internet users, and ended up as a global phenomenon blending entertainment, legend, and real-world tragedy. Is he myth or reality? Perhaps it doesn't matter. What's certain is that every time we walk alone in a forest, when we feel someone's eyes on us from the shadows, or when our screen flickers in the middle of the night, the shadow of Slender Man is there. And maybe that's his greatest victory. He doesn't need to exist, because he already lives in our imagination.